Hey everybody, Average Gamer here. Welcome to another video where things are getting back on track. After 2 days of working, the PC is almost to the point where I feel comfortable starting to record and stream again. That in mind, things might be a little awkward with like audio and things like that. So we'll have to kind of go from there to see just how all that goes. But the thing that was causing all the problems. So, as you guys know, there was an issue with the hard drive. Basically, it was when we were doing some work with the outlets here in my house. Somehow, some way, when doing things, I had forgotten to unplug my computer from my surge protector. Long story short, turned the power back on after we changed the receptacle on the wall. Surge went into the computer and fried said hard drive. Well, it didn't fry it, luckily enough, because there was a surge protector in there, so it protected it, but it scrambled it basically. So we had to basically completely clean it, format it, run some special software on it to basically fix it. So it's good. It's not at 100% health anymore. It's now at 96%. So it did take off 4% of its health. But I had to plug it into my other computer. Ran through all my extra software that I got from a few people, and got it going, got it working, got it okay. Long story short, was then having issues because this is the first time I've actually installed an OS on this computer, because I had it done for me, and I was having boot issues. Basically, I would load up the Windows install USB, and it would load up and install Windows, reboot like it's supposed to, and then would reboot back again, but then would reboot into the USB and say, hey, you want to install Windows? So I had to figure all that out. Then I realized that in the process of everything, the BIOS kind of got messed up. So I had to change the way it booted. Basically, to turn it on, it has to boot to one thing. I then had to use the USB as the second thing to boot to. So it would turn on and boot up through the BIOS. Get into the BIOS, tell in the BIOS, hey, load from the USB. It would then load from the USB, install Windows, reboot. Instead of letting it boot all the way into the Windows install, which it wouldn't do, it would go back into the USB and start all over again. I had to then go into the BIOS and tell it specifically to boot from the hard drive, because somehow, some way, it wasn't doing it. It was pulling something from the ether in regards to booting, because it kept giving me weird messages and stuff like that. But that was all fixed. So then it finally booted into the hard drive, went through the Windows install, and that's where we had our first issue, where I realized, crap, 2 terabytes is the largest I can have with Windows 10 as a initially installed or initialized hard drive. Deleted everything, loaded it back up, went through the install process, and sure enough, when I go into the install process and removed all the partitions from both hard drives, it was segregating the second hard drive, or sorry, not segregating, splitting the second hard drive into a 2 terabyte partition and a 8 terabyte partition, meaning that it was only going to allow me to use 2 terabytes on the hard drive no matter what I did, no matter how I did it. So I kept trying to do different types of installs from Windows, and I kept getting either a 50 megabyte install on the second hard drive, or I'd end up installing Windows, or something would end up installing, and I'll bring this up. So sometimes I would end up with, which was weird, obviously, my OS on there. Sometimes I'd end up with this little system reserve. Sometimes I'd end up with this recovery partition. It was always one of these three were always showing up on disk 1 here. So disk 1 was initially disk 0, and disk 0 was disk 1. So I was trying to figure out just what in the world I needed to do. I was trying everything. I was moving things around, swapping things. I actually got disk 1, swapped it with disks. Basically, I swapped the hard drives. That didn't work. After I swapped the hard drives, I was like, okay, what if I disconnected the hard drive? disconnected the hard drive, accidentally disconnected the 1 terabyte hard drive, turned everything back off, swapped it again, 10 terabyte hard drive, kept it clean. I actually went in initially and removed all the partitions from both drives, turned the computer off again, just basically unplugged the little the SATA connection on the back of the 10 terabyte drive, plugged in the 1 terabyte drive, loaded everything into Windows, installed everything, rebooted, and basically then turned off. Well, I did all my updates, turned off the computer, plugged in the secondary hard drive, and then I was able to create MBR disk, and then from that, put the whole thing together, create the proper partition of 10 terabytes, and get it all working and going. That took forever. For anyone who has to install Windows 10 on a modern computer, it is hard. My old computer just had 1 hard drive, so it was just simple click, 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 good to go. But you've got more 2 hard drives. I never realized it was this much of not even that was much of a pain, just this much work. Yeah. So there we go. So that's all been done. But yeah, so now after that, I've installed everything, got everything working, got all my drivers in. Everything is good to go at this point, mostly. So I need to install some software here and there. Got Steam up and running, which is good. I got Streamlabs OBS up and running, which is good. Don't have my cam yet. Got my mic. Well, that's just a USB mic, so that wasn't too hard. But yeah, so everything looks like it's getting there. Everything should be at this point good to go for Monday. Sunday, I'm going to do some extra work just to make sure everything's fine. But I do ask people to give me the benefit of the doubt when it comes to audio quality. Audio quality for the next little bit might be really bad. Just because, honestly, I don't know how the audio quality is going to be because of the new install and things. I'm going to have to possibly tweak stuff, so want to figure that out. But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you guys very soon, I hope. Bye-bye. Oh, that's right. Now my hotkeys don't work.